though this type of penguin is from Africa, where it's very hot, the water is still cold. The water stays in the 50s most of the year in South Africa. So these feathers are really, really important to a penguin. It's what keeps them warm in the cold water. So keeping shape is important, right? It's what keeps them protected. So they do that two different ways. Penguins will do something called preening, which is what he thinks I'm doing to him right now when I scratch him. They take their beaks and they just kind of straighten and clean their feathers off. That's all well and good. They do that most of the day. But the penguins keep their it's really funny. It happens once a year. It's called molting. Molting means they lose their feathers and they grow new ones. Now, birds do that. But most of the time, it's gradual. It just happens a little bit at a time. Penguins break the rules. Right before a penguin molts, something really weird happens. They start to gain a bunch of weight. These little guys, they stop looking like a football, and they start looking like a bowling ball. They get really, really big. And then every single feather falls out all at once. So for 2 weeks every summer, we've got round, naked penguins running around. They look really, really goofy. They kind of look like a big fuzzy butterball turkey. Really weird. It takes about 2 weeks for their new feathers to grow back. During that time, it's when they lose all that weight, and when they're done, they look like this again. So what do you guys think? Why in the world does a penguin have to get really big before he loses all his feathers?
More insulation.
Yeah, so it's warm out already. So it does help keep them warm, but they have another problem. If a penguin doesn't have feathers, what can't he do? Swim. He can't swim, what can't he do?
Eat.
He can't eat. Can't eat fish with no feathers. So they have to live off of all that stored up energy, all that stored up fat for 2 whole weeks. That's a pretty incredible change. On a normal day, a penguin this size eats about 2 pounds of fish. He only weighs 8 pounds. That's a lot of food. So they go from eating 2 pounds a day to eating nothing for 2 weeks. Definitely a crazy thing to happen to us here. Well, he likes that, doesn't he? All right, let me stop again, guys. Any other questions I can answer? All right. So this one is a boy. If we had a girl out here, they would look exactly alike. There's no way to tell a male from a female just by looking at them. You have to do a look. When I rub them backwards, you can see just how many. It almost feels like fur because they're so soft and so dense. So absolutely, very, very soft. How long do they live? I can answer how long do they live? This penguin's about 5 years old, which is very young. Inside the aquarium, they can live into their mid-40s. Average is around 25 or 30, so they do live quite a long time inside a zoo aquarium. In South Africa, they would only live to be about 10 or 12, so they do live considerably longer. Great question. What else?
So on the, if you're at the 15-minute mark,